ask in this crowd, how many people have had their HPV vaccination? I expect the number would be as small as the odds of buying a winning lottery ticket. And this is really worrying. You might ask me, what is HPV? Well, it is sort of like an uninvited guest that welcomes itself into your sexual lives. What does that mean? According to World Health Organization, Human Papilloma Virus is a common virus transmitted through sexual contact. And here's the harsh truth. Most of us will be exposed to it once we begin any kind of sexual activity. Although it is usually asymptomatic, it can cause penile cancer, anal cancer, oropharyngeal cancer, vulvar cancer, vaginal cancer, cervical cancer, and some other non-malignant conditions like genital warts. As you can see, this virus of ours, it does not discriminate. It affects both men and women. Yes, boys, you should be concerned about this HPV virus as well. Let's drive our attention to cervical cancer, a largely preventable disease, yet still claiming thousands of lives each year. HPV is responsible for nearly all cervical cancers. What is a cervical cancer? Cervical cancer is the cancer of cervix, which forms the lower portion of the uterus. It is the fourth most common cancer in women and second most leading cause of cancer in women aged 15 to 44 years in India. I'd like to mention here that not all HPV infections would lead to cancer. Most of them resolve with time as the immune system fights off the virus. Good news, right? Only persistent infection with high-risk strains can develop into cancer. There are a number of risk factors that predispose to persistent HPV infection. And there are two that I would like to discuss here: marrying and multiple pregnancies at a young age. I'm a third-year MBBS student at a government medical college, and when I visit my obs and gynae ward, I find women aged 20, 21, married and pregnant. I myself am 19 years old, and at this age, I honestly cannot imagine marrying someone, let alone have a child. These women are highly vulnerable of developing cervical cancer, and they have such little awareness about the disease or its prevention. We need to protect them through awareness, through vaccination, and through screening. Also, nowadays, our youth is increasingly participating in sexual activity, and that too at fairly younger ages. Now, we really cannot control all their decisions, can we? But at least we can ensure their safety, and HPV vaccination is a pivotal part of it. That's why I stand before you all today with the intent of spreading awareness about gender-neutral HPV vaccination. Why gender-neutral? Well, as I already mentioned, HPV poses the risk of causing diseases in boys as well. Additionally, a gender-neutral HPV vaccine ensures that men in same-sex relationships are also included under the cloud of protection. A gender-neutral vaccine reduces the overall viral load. It reduces transmission and provides stronger herd immunity than what is achieved by only vaccinating females. Now, let me entrust you all with a fun fact. A number of studies have shown that when given at the right age and with high coverage, HPV vaccination results in marked reductions in HPV-associated diseases. Amazing, right? Let that sink in. Such is the significance of the HPV vaccination. Now, you might be thinking, what is this HPV vaccine I have been going on and on about for so long? Do not worry. That is where the conversation is headed. In 2008, 2 HPV vaccines were licensed in India, a quadrivalent vaccine and a bivalent vaccine. Hold on, wait. What is this quadrivalent and bivalent thing? Well, a quadrivalent vaccine will provide you protection against 4 strains of HPV. And bivalent, it will provide you protection against 2 high-risk strains of HPV. More recently, India launched its first indigenous HPV vaccine. It's a quadrivalent vaccine, and it offers a low-cost option in India. Moving forwards, we'll be discussing about the schedule of HPV vaccination as provided by the Indian Academy of Pediatrics Advisory Committee on Vaccines and Immunization Practices. And this is important, okay? So, according to the Indian Academy of Pediatrics Advisory Committee on Vaccines and Immunization Practices, the schedule of Indian HPV vaccine is as follows. For the age group 9 to 14 years, and by the way guys, this is the preferred age for getting the vaccine. You may ask, why? For the virus, for the HPV vaccine, it is most advantageous when given prior to the exposure with any strains of HPV. So back to the schedule. For the age group 9 to 14 years, we have a 2-dose schedule. And the time gap between the first and the second dose should not be more than 5 months. Catch-up age. The catch-up age for this vaccine is 26 years. So for the age group 15 to 26 years, we have a 3-dose schedule. And this 3-dose schedule also applies for immunocompromised individuals. Now, in this 3-dose schedule, your second dose should be given at least 1 month after your first dose. And your third dose, it should be given at least 3 months after your second dose. This schedule might come off as a bit tricky to you guys. Still, trust me, it's a worthwhile one. You might have all heard this phrase, prevention is better than cure. A common cliche, isn't it? Something we've been hearing ever since we were little. Yet, what profound truth it holds, one we should never erase from our memories. I urge all the boys and girls here to go and get the HPV vaccination done. Take that step towards prevention. And to all the parents here, please ensure that your child get this vaccine. Also, consult with your doctor before getting this vaccine. In your minds, both sides of the prevention coin should be etched with one word, and that is yes. Because sometimes the destination of recovery could only be reached if first you chose the path of prevention. Let prevention be your road taken. Thank you.